Hey and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Diana. I am the creator of Money Boss Mama, where I teach women how to become a money boss from the inside out. And as of today, it is December 26th. It's the day after Christmas. And I wanted to prepare you all for 2021, to make 2021 your best year yet, just in case 2020, you really fell on hard times and you weren't able to reach your goals. This video is going to be full of tips and tricks to help you level up using your tax refund in 2021, and also your stimulus check if those things ever come in. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the first thing that you can do using this extra money. The first thing that I recommend doing with your tax refund is to, of course, pay off debt. When you are carrying loads of debt, especially high interest debt such as credit cards, it makes it not only difficult to build wealth, but it's really hard to afford your basic necessities as well. And if you are not new here, you know that leveraging extra money like tax refunds was one of the main ways I was able to become debt free during the year of the pandemic, which of course was 2020. So if you have debt that is taking up a large portion or chunk of your income, then it is your time to shine, sis, when you get your tax refund. I recommend, choosing the balance that is causing you the most distress, whether that is it has the highest interest rate or it is taking up a big portion of your income. Give yourself some relief and make a large payment towards that specific debt balance if you are not already focusing on a specific debt balance right now. Now, here's a little trick that I learned throughout the years of my debt-free journey. In the beginning and even before my official debt-free journey, I would use a huge portion of my tax refund and apply it to my auto loan, because that was the loan that I was focusing on when I was doing this. So I would make a large payment and then I wouldn't make any more payments until it was due. So I would pay it up. It would be about 5 or 6 months that I would pay it up, and then I would not touch the auto loan again. Now, if you are low income, then this is something that may be beneficial for you, because that allows you to apply your money to other things so that you can take care of your other financial obligations. But if you are able to, I recommend making a large payment on whichever debt that you choose, and then continuing to make your regular debt payments. This is really going to maximize the large payment that you just made, because when you make a large payment and you don't pay on that debt balance for a while, you're still accruing interest. So I learned this the hard way on my auto loan. Whenever I realized that my balance was not as low as I thought it would be, it was because I was accruing interest. So if you can, make that large payment and still continue to make your regular debt payments. So if your debt payment is, let's say your auto loan is $345, but you normally pay $400 a month, continue to make that $400 a month payment and let it sit on top of that large payment that you just made. Not only does this help you to cut down the time that it takes for you to pay off this loan or the debt balance, but it also helps you to save money because you are cutting down on those interest charges. And if you are not able to make your regular debt payment, at least calculate how much interest will be costing you, and then make a payment towards your interest only, to make sure that your balance is not being affected by the interest that is accruing. The second way to use your tax refund is to start investing, and investing is key to building long-term wealth. So if you did not have much money to use to invest before, when you get your tax refund, think of it as a way to start building wealth for you and your family. And I know that investing, it can seem extremely intimidating with all of the investing jargon, but through my research and as I continue to progress in the investing world, I just learned that it's only as complicated as you make it, seriously. And old bald men in suits are not the only people who invest. Investors look like me and they look like you. So if you don't really understand it, it's probably not best to invest in it, but just start with where you're comfortable and what you are able to comprehend. But some easy ways to start investing now is to purchase stocks. So I started, what I've learned kind of a sugar backwards, because I started investing in individual stocks before investing in something like a mutual fund. And that's because I was reading books and listening to podcasts, and they were geared towards individual stocks. So that is just what I learned first and what I felt comfortable with first. So I chose two companies, which was Apple and Starbucks, because I'm a Starbucks fiend and I have Apple products. So the companies, it was just a lot easier for me to research. And I explained this in another video, but a stock is basically like a pie. A stock is a company like Apple or Starbucks. It's the whole pie. And depending on the pie that you choose, or the stock, you then decide how many shares that you want, or pieces of the pie. I have 4 shares or 4 slices in Apple stock, or the pie, and then I have 2 shares or 2 slices of the Starbucks pie. And basically all this means is that you have ownership in the companies, but you want to make sure that you understand the companies. The companies are going to withstand very hard times like 2020. It's a company you believe in, it aligns with your values, etc. Or if you just believe that you will make profit in the company, then you can go that route as well. But of course, always do your research. Bonds are also a great way to dip your toe into the world of investing. Companies and governments, they are always needing to borrow money. So basically, bonds are loans that you give to the company or the government, and in exchange for you loaning them your money for a specific amount of time, they are going to pay you back your money plus interest. So you are agreeing to be paid by a specific date. Thus, it's less of a risk than investing in individual stocks or anything like that. But because it's such a low risk investment, the returns are not as high, but it's still a great way to get started and to earn, a little something for your money. Mutual funds are also a very popular way to start investing, and these are a collection of securities like stocks and bonds. So they will pull together shareholders' funds, like your money, to buy a collection of securities, and these are professionally managed, and it's not as high risk as if you just invested in an individual stock, because you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. So your eggs are actually placed in multiple baskets because there are multiple companies. And so if one company tanks, it's not going to have such a huge effect on your portfolio like it would if you had multiple shares in that one stock or company. And you will also earn shares of the fund, which can be bought and sold at any time. ETFs are also a popular way to start investing. These are exchange traded funds, which are a collection of stocks or bonds. So it's very similar to a mutual fund, but they require a lower minimum investment. So with a mutual fund, they tend to have higher investment minimums. So if you are looking for a way to invest that doesn't require such a high minimum, then an ETF could be something that you might consider looking into. The third thing you can do with your tax refund is to open up a high yield savings account and start building your emergency fund. And if it's one thing 2020 has taught us, is that we need to have money set aside for the unknown. So if you do not have at least 1 month's worth of living expenses saved up, I recommend saving your tax refund. And now a high yield savings account, it's basically like a regular savings account, but savings accounts at your regular banks, like brick and mortar banks, your local banks, they may only offer an APY of like 0.01%, whereas the high yield savings accounts offer a much higher APY. So instead of you earning pennies on your money, you may be earning dollars. Now, since the pandemic hit, the APYs, I can't really state what it would normally be because it's just been so up and down, and they've been cutting down the APY or amount of interest that you earn on your money, but it's still a lot more that you are earning using a high yield savings account versus your regular savings account at your local bank. And if you get your tax refund or extra money like a stimulus check and you're not quite sure how much of it to use, one thing that I like to do was use a 70-20-10 allocation method. So depending on my main goal, let's say my main goal is saving money, I would apply 70% to savings, 20% to debt, and 10% to personal funds, because I honestly do not believe in depriving yourself. I believe that you still have to do for yourself, but of course, do it in moderation. The fourth thing that you can do with your tax refund is to pay up your bills. This is something that is very beneficial if you are low income, and it's something that I did when I was extremely low income. I would use a portion of my tax refund to pay up my rent. So if you're not quite sure which bills to focus on your essentials, those that are absolutely necessary, like your rent and utilities, and try to pay up at least 2 months worth of those bills so that you can free up that extra money to apply to other financial obligations that maybe you weren't able to get to before. And this way you are able to work on your goals or other things outside of these essential expenses, and you have the peace of mind of knowing that if something goes crazy, that at least your essential bills are taken care of. The fifth way to use your tax refund is to start saving for your kids' future college expenses. I get a lot of messages, DMs, comments from moms who want to know how they can start saving for their kids' college expenses and just how to build wealth in general. And a 529 savings plan is a really great way to start saving for their future educational costs. I have a 529 plan for my daughter, and with this plan, your growth is tax-free, and the withdrawals that you make, they will never be taxed as long as your withdrawals are used for qualified educational expenses such as room and board, tuition, supplies, things of that nature. And I started saving for my daughter's future college expenses when I was making like $32,000 a year. I started off by just setting back $10 per paycheck, so $20 per month, and then I moved up to $15 per paycheck, and now I'm just at $20 per paycheck, but her account has already earned $200 in interest. So it's a great way, and your money is invested, so you will earn money on your contributions, and it's just a great way and a great feeling to know that you're helping your child not be weighed under this debt. A custodial Roth IRA is also another great option. Like a 529 plan, your growth is going to be tax free, but with the Roth IRAs, you can make withdrawals at any time, and it does not have to be for educational expenses. So it can be like for them purchasing their first home. So I find that a Roth IRA is not only a great way for saving for educational expenses, but also general wealth building as well. So look into a 529 plan or a custodial Roth IRA or both to start building wealth and saving for future college costs. The sixth way to use your tax refund is to invest in your business idea. And I know there are so many of you watching right now that have a business idea. That's amazing, but it never really leaves your mind because you feel like you don't have the money to fund it. So while you have the money, fund your dreams so long as your finances are in order. And honestly, I feel like you only live once. So you don't want to wake up one day wondering what would happen if you would have left your comfort zone and allowed yourself to elevate and reach this new dimension. And you honestly don't know, where this thing is going to take you. You don't know your full potential until you put action behind your business idea. I recently invested in a business coach once I became debt free, but I honestly wish that I would have invested in my business a lot sooner or earlier on, because the amount of growth that I have experienced, not even just income wise, but as a person, has been remarkable. It's been really, I can't explain it, but when you are investing in your business idea, you are essentially investing in yourself. Don't keep yourself small. Leave that comfort zone. Invest in that business idea, even if you don't truly know if it's going to work out. But if it's something that keeps coming back to you over and over and over again, it's like an itch you can't scratch. There's a reason why that idea won't leave your mind, and you don't know the new heights that it's going to take you until you fund it and put action behind it. So start moving your feet and get to breathing life into that idea. Get it out of the daydream phase. And if you already have a business, then there's always a way that you can take your business to the next level. Maybe that is investing in a business coach. Like I said before, I invested in a business coach. So there's always going to be someone that knows more than you, and you want to put yourself close to that person so that you can pick their brain, or you can invest in new gear if you're someone that does like videos, or you can you always want to continue learning. So you want to invest in courses so that you can continue to stay on top of trends and make sure that your skills are fresh. Or if you want to attract new clients, then maybe you have a website, you can redesign your website. There's always something that you can do to better your business. What's number 7? What's number 7? What? The 7th thing that you can do is to set up your sinking funds. And sinking funds, they're like little mini savings accounts that are for short-term goals. So you know exactly what it is that you are saving for, and often you will know how much you need to save. So let's say you want to get like a makeup vanity that's $300. So you set up a sinking fund specifically for that makeup vanity, and then once you get to that $300, you withdraw the money out and you make that purchase. This way, you know, it's not completely busting your budget, and you can make that purchase guilt-free because you properly prepared for it. So if you find that a particular expense or expenses tend to always come at a bad time, like your kids need clothes, the school is asking for money, or you need clothes, things like that, then you want to be proactive and set up sinking funds and start saving for those expenses so that when they come due, you know that you have the money set aside for them, and it's not going to knock your budget off track. And some sinking funds that you might consider are home repairs, car repairs, clothes, extracurricular activities, vacations. So it doesn't have to be everything that's really responsible, birthdays, things like that tend to catch you off track, so they are irregular, but you always find that you are paying for them. The 8th way to use your tax refund is to contribute to an HSA. An HSA is a health savings account, and this is available for those who are covered under a high deductible health plan. This account is a tax advantage way for you to save for future healthcare expenses. And so what's really cool with an HSA is that your contributions do grow, so they earn money, and that growth is tax-free. So basically it's another way to build wealth, and any money that you have not used, it doesn't go away like if it was in an FSA, which is a flexible spending account. It actually rolls over into the next year for you to use. So your money is growing and it's rolling over into itself. So and when you contribute to an HSA, you are preparing yourself for future healthcare expenses. That way, when you get a medical bill, you're not so stressed out because you know you have money set aside to use for those things. The 9th way, and what I feel like is the best way to use your tax refund, is to donate to charitable causes. So the way that I see it, money is a tool. Money is just a tool. It's a tool that you use to build the life that you want, but it's also a tool that you use to build the world in the way that you want to see it. So those organizations and causes that are near and dear to you, by donating to them, there is literally no greater feeling than knowing that you are making a difference and an impact. And routing back to investing in your business and your business idea, there are people attached to you. This is the way that I see it. There are people that are attached to you, and they need for you to operate at your highest level and to stop playing small because they need you. So I needed to invest in my business. I need to increase my income because money makes the world go round. Whether we like to admit it or not, everything needs money. Money keeps the world in rotation. You can't feed homeless kids on the street with your heart, by just the goodness of your heart. You can't do that. They need money. You need money to feed these kids, to clothe these kids. You know, these organizations need money or donations for them to do what they're doing. And if I kept myself small and I didn't allow myself to elevate, then those causes, those people that are near and dear and attached to me, they wouldn't be able to be helped. They need me to increase my income so that they can be helped, if that makes sense. So one of the causes that is near and dear to me, because this can be a whole nother video, is underprivileged kids, so kids that are misrepresented because they were born into situations in which they lacked resources, and because of that they have a lack of representation. We'll just wrap it up like that. I see that organization that supports them as these children, and so these children, they are attached to me. I put a face to it, and they need me to be at my highest self, to be at my most successful self, so that I can fund this organization that will in turn help them. Because if I keep myself small, as I stated, I'm really not helping people at the level that I want to help them. There's honestly power in donations. I firmly believe that. So if you are someone that can afford it, consider donating a chunk of your tax refund to an organization that supports a cause that is near and dear to you, so that you can start bringing about the change that you want to see in the world. All right, so that wraps up how to level up in 2021 using your tax refund or any other extra money that you may come across. I hope that this was really helpful to you all, and if you liked it, please leave me a thumbs up, and also comment down below how you are using your tax refund to level up. But in the meantime, I will catch you all in the next one.